Hmm.
I'm a little warm in here. You're gonna have to deal with the hum.
It's getting hot in here.
So
Yeah.
take off all your
Wow. Really,
Yeah?
really hear that air conditioner.
Can you? Is it loud?
When you said turn on the AC, there's gonna be a little bit of a hum. I didn't realize we were gonna be next to an idling truck.
Wow. CJ. Being a jerk. Is it really that bad?
No.
It's not good.
What?
I mean, it's loud, but you know,
It drowns you out a
CJ?
little bit, so that's okay.
who cares? This whole show is bush league.
Listen,
It's true.
that's true.
Mike Phillips isn't here.
That's why
We're like one step away from monkeys throwing poop at one another when Mike's not here.
I can do that too.
I know.
I can
Maybe even just a half step, really.
I can get right on that.
Whoa. Right, I'm gonna hit record. I'm hitting record.
I'm gonna record.
I should open audio high jerk here.
Well, yeah, you probably should.
Boom. I got the pro version. I went all out.
All out, huh?
Audio
Hijack Pro?
hijack pro.
Well,
Very,
very good.
la dee da.
can you hear my daughter
My-
screaming in the background?
Of course we can.
Can you
My
really?
Indigo. Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard
Okay. I mean, it's
You know, when-
time
when
for her
you-
meeting, so we can't
when-
really, you know.
her. When you said I was gonna have a daughter, I didn't think you would be giving birth to an idling truck.
What?
No, that doesn't work. I'm not giving you that.
I tried.
You didn't do it. Didn't
The
do
best
it
I
right.
can do in these troubled times.
You know what? I'm gonna open up Toolbox
Okay.
Yeah.
so people know who I am.
This is him.
Oh,
He just wants an excuse to
right,
plug his stupid show.
Oh,
Go
you were on the screen.
Give money to my.
Everyone
What do you
recording.
mean?
Uh,
You're so mean.
Be sure to send me money to my virtual panhandle or to my charity.
Oh, wow.
Charity. Hey, Stuart, charity begins at
It's a real
home,
thing.
jerk.
Obviously not in your home.
Have you seen the squalor in which I live?
Yes, I have.
Got crabs back there.
You gotta bring your own. Gotta bring your own garbage bag to sit on at the Theobald household. You don't want to use one of mine.
Hmm. All right then.
We
Are you
have.
ready to go?
Been ready for a while.
Do a clap. Let's do a clap. All right. 3, 2, 1. Perfect.
How's that? How was that?
Perfect. Absolutely
Good.
perfect.
Hold on.
No complaints whatsoever.
What's up, hon?
Oh, nothing. I'm just trying to
Oh, okay.
getting him.
Trying to
Okay.
wrangle the use of
circus. Afro circus. Afro circus. Afro. Polka dot. Afro.
what?
What?
You ever
What?
saw Madagascar? I don't know what
Don't
number it was.
understand. No,
What?
I have not watched
Kids,
Madagascar.
You're not watching the Madagascar movies.
No,
No, I have not.
Can't you hear
just
how happy
those-
my kids are because they've watched the Madagascar movies?
Yeah, I heard
You
the
hear the
screams.
screaming back
Be
there?
happy.
That's a
Yeah.
plot.
Mine.
Finn is into the Lego Movie and Frozen, and what other movies does he like right now?
I still
Those
have
are
not
those
seen
two.
Frozen.
Really?
Really?
No.
It's
I've
good.
seen it about 25 times.
It's good.
My kids have seen it a lot. It's one of those weird. It's a weird situation where like my kids have seen that movie a ton of times, but somehow I've missed it.
Oh,
It's a good movie.
it is.
It is the
Indeed.
'90s. I see
Yes.
by your lower third.
There you go.
Mhm.
And it is
Then-
time. There's time for clacks.
He's a fan of Wreck-It Ralph.
Mmm.
You know?
My son loves
Yeah.
Wreck-It Ralph.
I'm not showing him any of that DreamWorks crap.
I can't blame you.
I mean, yeah, we'll-
somewhere.
Wait, now you know what? That's not true. I showed him Kung Fu Panda because Kung Fu Panda is actually quite good. And we have not watched it yet, but at some point we will watch How to Train Your Dragon.
That's a good movie.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I've heard good things.
No, you have not seen it?
No.
It's
Good message.
it's the guy who did Lilo and Stitch, you know.
I know that. Yes.
I did not know that. That would explain why I like that movie so much, though.
That would also explain why the dragon looks an awful lot like Stitch.
Actually, now that you mention that, yes. Yes, he does.
Yeah. It's Stealth
Indeed.
Stitch with his black suit,
I see.
you know.
Yeah.
No, that's, what is. I who am I? Who are any of us?
Theobald.
That's a good
Oh, yeah.
question.
Jeez.
Hello and welcome to episode 407 of the Player One podcast from Monday, August 25th, 2014. I'm your host, Chris Johnston. With me, as always, earthquake survivor, Mr. Phil Theobald. Were you shaken up this morning?
Oh, man. Things were shaking and quaking out here. Let me tell you. Oh, man, I was moving and grooving. I
Really?
couldn't believe. What?
No.
Yeah.
I was like, come on. There's a... Yeah? No. I would have slept through it. It occurred at like 3 in the morning. You know.
Oh, okay.
So I was asleep.
You were fast
and
asleep. You did
Dana
not
apparently felt it and woke me up. She kind of nudged me and said, I think there's an earthquake. And I just kind of, no, it's not. And rolled over and went back to sleep.
You're
And
like,
then-
sorry for snoring, honey.
And then I sort of woke up a little bit more and was like, wait, is there an earthquake? Should I go get Finn? I don't feel anything. And I ultimately decided that, no, we were safe. And
Good to
Finn...
know that your family is totally safe if California slides.
Well, you went
Hell,
over to the DVD shelves and checked them.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah,
My son's informing me that the cat threw up.
Yeah.
I know, buddy.
Oh.
I know.
He's taking care of it.
Hairball.
That'll happen.
Hairball.
That will happen.
Yep. No, the
Yeah.
earthquake's fine. I'm fine here. Everything's fine.
How are you?
How are you? Although I'm not up in Napa where the bulk of the damage was.
True.
So there you go.
True.
Yes.
And joining us from the frozen north is a man who calls soft drinks fuel, Mr. Gregson.
I don't call them that at all.
Well,
But,
that's what you said. You said
that a-
fuel.
Is that a thing?
Have some
What?
fuel. Unless you were
I don't-
talking about you needed pea fuel.
Listen. Okay, just because every liquid you pour into your face hole is some kind of soft drink doesn't mean all of
What?
it. Like
This
that.
is
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 a cup of
water.
tea,
This
my
is
friend.
water here.
This was a cup of tea.
Yeah. Well,
That's
tea
what
is a
it
soft
was.
drink.
No, it's not.
Yes, it
It's
is.
not even remotely
Yes,
close to being
yes.
a soft drink.
What are you talking? CJ, come on.
What?
Don't be dumb. Don't
Okay,
be
fine.
dumb. Greg's right. Don't make me agree with Greg. Don't
Bound to
make me
happen.
have to agree with Greg that
Oh man.
U.S. hating. No, don't worry, daughter. It's only in America where they have those boogeymen police officers that come to your house and beat you and
I didn't say all of America.
no, all of the United States of America. We certainly wouldn't want to implicate Mexico or South
Wait,
America.
did I miss something here?
I didn't say that exactly, by the way.
Not
Not I said at all.
exactly.
You said that. I told you were on the right track.
What was it? Your daughter was concerned
watching-
about.
We're watching the news, and apparently,
You really shouldn't
like the
do these days.
yeah, I know that was a bad idea in the first place. But it was it was the local news, and I mean I live in Halifax. Nothing bad ever happens here.
Hmm.
So wow, my kid is really pissed.
Yeah, well, they probably saw you what the injustice going on in Ferguson.
That's true. Anyway, so there was a story about Ferguson on there. Because it's news, but
Sure.
Let me ask you something real quick, Greg.
Yeah.
Up there in Canada, when they're reporting on that, is a report on look at this horrible thing that's happening and civil rights are being denied and the people in authority are abusing their power and everything is awful, or is it just like those wacky Americans and there's like cartoony sound effects playing in the background?
And I can't speak for Canadian national news because I don't watch a whole lot of that, but the local news, they're actually a lot more along the lines of what news broadcasting should be, which is like they just tell you what the story is rather than putting any kind of bent on it. You know, like it's not like you need a lot of editorializing to see that what's going on in Ferguson is a terrible thing.
Right.
But they're not taking sides or anything like that. It's just like, okay, this is happening. But anyway, so one of the affiliates for CTV, which was the network we were watching, their reporter was actually they went up to the cops to ask a question.
Oh, jeez.
He went up to the police to ask a question.
Bad idea.
They arrested him. So and it was all on tape, of course. Right?
Of course.
And so they grabbed him and they threw him to the ground and they handcuffed him and he spent the night in jail and he was released. So anyway, that was the story. But of course the video's playing and my daughter, who's 7 years old, she's watching it and she looks at me and she was frightened by it. And she said, "Why did they arrest that man, Daddy? What did he do?"
Yeah.
I said, "Well, they arrested him, I guess, because he asked the question." Well, why would they arrest him for asking a question? Like, she really understood it way more than I expected her to.
Right.
So, you know, I mean, we do what most parents do, or you want to teach your children, like, you can trust the police.
Right.
Standard, like, if you're in trouble and mommy and daddy aren't there, go to a teacher, or go to a policeman or a policewoman, you know, or whatever. And so you could see it in her eyes. She's like, "Well, why would the police do that? Why would they do that?" So we were saying, "Well, those aren't our police, honey."
Womp womp. If it'll make her feel any better, tell her that we're all kind of scared of that too.
Yeah, exactly. So,
yeah, she's not really.
No, it was weird. It was just I was sort of. I did not expect to be having that conversation with my 7-year-old.
Yeah, well, there you go. Welcome to today's world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we're never watching the news again.
Now start filling her in on Sony and all their.
Oh man.
Today.
How about that, huh?
Jeez, the friggin' bomb thing.
You mean the plane?
Yeah. No, the other bomb.
Oh.
What?
Wait,
Yeah,
I don't know what we're talking about.
I heard Iwata showed up at Sony headquarters today and dropped a bomb.
If people are just tuning into this and don't know what we're talking about, why don't you explain what it is?
Very recently, like hours ago, right?
That's right.
We are not reporting on old news. This is new news. This is Player One Podcast, your finest source for the latest happenings on Twitter and beyond.
That's right.
So
some group calling themselves the Lizard Squad. Which
they did
basically
they did the Super Troopers movie, right?
I don't think so. That's a different Lizard.
I think that was them.
Yeah, they're doing I guess a DDoS on Sony's network,
right?
And a couple of other networks too, League of Legends and.
This, you know what it's doing? It's screwing over that flash sale.
It really is.
I hope Sony extends I hope they extend the flash sale. I was gonna buy something.
What were you gonna buy out of the flash sale?
I'd rather not say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That good, huh?
I was considering getting the Walking with Dinosaurs Wonder Book. Because Finn loves
Walking with Dinosaurs Wonder Book?
Because Finn loves dinosaurs, and I have the Wonder Book from the Harry Potter thing.
That thing's great, by the way.
What, the Harry Potter one?
Real talk, yeah.
Okay, yeah. No, the Harry Potter
Wonder Book is great.
What I played of the Harry Potter game, it was kind of it was cute and fun. And I figured, get the dinosaur one and see, look at that. He's walking past, and as soon as I said dinosaur, his head just goes, huh?
Dinosaur?
Did somebody say dinosaur? But I figured that would be a fun one for us to play. But I can't buy it now.
No,
I can't buy it now because
you pounced on that when the sale went up on Friday.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping that Sony extends it a bit because
I wouldn't count on it.
Well, I wouldn't either, but
So, yeah, there's
you know
a
what?
DDoS.
I'll make an angry tweet about it if they don't.
A DDoS attack going on Sony and a couple other services. And then they tweeted something
Mommy.
about Sony Online's bosses, or like their main boss, whatever, was flying from DFW to SFO. And
Actually, to San Diego.
Oh, San Diego. Okay.
Yes.
And they tweeted something about a bomb threat or explosives being on that
Yeah,
flight.
they sent.
It got diverted.
Wait, did you not know about this, Seward?
No, I didn't know about this.
Yeah,
This is what I'm saying. You need to explain.
They found out.
Everybody, even the hosts.
The Super Trooper guys found out that like the president of Sony Online, or something or another,
Yeah.
had
SOE.
yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. They because he had tweeted about being on a flight, like, oh, I'm heading back to San Diego, and so these guys found out what flight it was, and somehow got a copy of his e-ticket.
Oh my God.
And tweeted a picture of the e-ticket and a note to, a tweet to American Airlines about, hey, we heard that there's an explosive device on this flight. Could you investigate? And of course, they can't not take that seriously.
That. Yeah.
So
right.
the flight ended up getting diverted and had to stop in like Phoenix or something, and they had to sweep the plane for a couple hours and make sure that it was safe.
So
And of
what
course
was this
it
all done in the name of? Like EverQuest servers being shut down
Nothing.
or what? Like
I
Well,
don't know.
The tweets that I saw that were talking about Sony is about their greed with PSN.
oh, for God's sake.
It's just, yeah.
They were having a
I don't know
flash
if it's
sale.
serious or-
They were selling games for $10. How's that greed? Do you know how many free games
I
I've
don't
gotten
know.
through PS Plus?
Yeah.
Come on, how's that greed?
What
You
the fuck
paid
is
five-
wrong with people?
You paid $5 for that One Piece game, CJ.
I did, and it was.
Well, to be fair, CJ overpaid for that. That is a little bit greedy.
Hey, now, how dare you? How dare you, sir?
best $5 I have ever spent.
Really?
Well, that's probably not true.
Oh, no.
Well, that's
I'm
not
sure
true.
you've got.
That
cool
Doritos
things for
Tacos
$5.
Locos was pretty good.
There you go.
And remember when we were at that club that one night, and there was that woman when she when you wanted $5, and you were like, and then you did a little, and a little, and then you got that with the choo choo. Remember
I
that?
don't remember any of that. no.
$5,
You
man.
were pretty drunk.
You were. And then
I was
Kirsten Dunst
drunk
came
at
out,
the
and you were like, "Oh, you were awesome at Kiki's Delivery Service."
I just do that all the time. I just go up to people who
to
look
anyone?
like Kirsten Dunst.
Anyone on the street?
Yeah. That's
That
right.
kid just went quiet. I'm worried. She either fell asleep or something worse.
Why would you be worried she fell
Oh,
asleep?
there she goes. She's crying again.
Oh,
Okay,
good.
good.
So yeah, so that's
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
so there's some stuff happening there.
It's insane. This guy's taint.
Yeah.
And then
How
there's all
about
that other stuff with the stuff.
Phil Fish?
Yeah.
Phil Fish?
Yeah.
The Polytron hacking, where they basically just like laid all of his personal information bare on the Polytron
Yeah.
website, including bank accounts, email account passwords, social
Yeah.
security information, yeah, everything.
Yeah.
And of course, the whole situation that led up to that,
Well, yeah.
which was
And
just disgusting.
This week. This week.
Yeah, what happened this week?
I don't know. This was a weird, unpleasant week.
And
Well,
apparently at PAX, there's going to be some kind of protest about game
Oh,
game
for
journalists
God's sake.
too, which just
Oh
made me roll my eyes. It's like,
No,
what exactly is that going to
saddest,
accomplish?
Not the saddest part. One of the sad parts about everything that happened this week,
Yeah.
it's not like the gaming journals were doing a bad job of showing themselves to be useless to begin with. We
Wow.
didn't really need this. You know? But what happened this week was just despicable. Like,
I gotta say,
I
That's
didn't
never
even
okay.
look into what all went on with the whole Zoe Quinn stuff. I
so
just
you don't know any of the details about it. You don't know.
I
even
know
the-
some of the details. I don't know the whole story. You want to give me the short version?
Basically, what it came down to is some jilted ex-boyfriend
yeah.
who's got some major issues.
Oh
I
yeah.
would have to say, decided to post a very lengthy, very detailed blog about his relationship and subsequent breakup with her.
Okay.
And he felt like that wasn't bad enough. But he did this like blow by blow account of everything, including like suicide attempts and things like that. And then the worst part about it was that he decided that he needed to investigate and prove who she'd slept with while they were broken up. And
That's
named them
amazing.
all. And named them all. And of course, one of them ended up being a Kotaku writer. And it just sort of blew up from there. So now you know all the men's rights activists and all the people who want to claim the video games journalism back from the social justice warriors are all swarming on this, right? And it's just gross. The whole thing's gross. Like,
yeah,
it never should have happened in the first place, and it irritates the hell out of me that I don't know. It's just
I did see an interesting piece.
No one deserves to have that happen. No one deserves to have their life laid bare like that. I don't care what you think of them. Like
Greg Stewart is a male Canadian.
Hey, I didn't deserve that. Come on.
No, I'm just saying. People have the right to know.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
You're a public figure.
Freedom of Information Act.
All of your personal dirty laundry laid bare.
You don't want to see my dirty laundry.
I think it's on the couch back there.
Well, that's
Greg
okay.
Stewart has done the nasty with at least one woman.
At least 3 times.
Oh my lord. Despicable.
Yeah.
Get that image out of your mind.
Never. Never. Not taking down the fan mural I have painted on my living room wall.
On your bedroom ceiling?
No, that's gross. That's gross. That's where all the CJ scat is. Now, what? No, that's
Sega Control Attack Team?
that's exactly what I meant. That's exactly what I meant.
What's that doing there? I just
I
don't
always
even.
envision
What
you
an
as
unfortunate... I'm a member of SCAT. You remember what?
look out, augers, we're gonna scat all over you.
That's right.
See, they approached
right.
Dana Plato and said, "Yeah, we're filming something. It's going to involve scat. Would you be up for it?" And she said, "Yes, of course."
That was actually the $10,000 reward tier on the Kickstarter, wasn't it? Personal SCAT shirt.
Could you imagine how awesome that would be if this completely... I mean, considering how just amateur hour that whole campaign is, if one of the reward tiers was a T-shirt that just scat written across it really big with the little acronym periods in there. You know what?
Yeah.
You know
You'd wear
what?
that, wouldn't you?
Yo, Zito! Because I know you're listening, dude.
Zito.
Yo, Zeets!
Yo, Tommy Z.
T to the C!
Yeah.
Get that shirt in there, and I will, I'll toss a $5 your way.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, this week was not very good for
This
game
week is a mess, and it's
journalism.
dumb, and I hate it.
It's not
And
very good for games.
you know
Games
what?
in general.
History
Yeah.
is going to look back and say, boy, the Second American Revolution was not very inspired at all.
Yeah?
Yeah. That's the only logical conclusion to where we're going here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did see an interesting piece that talked about,
I'll show you an interesting piece, right?
Another Night Trap joke?
Yes.
Sorry. I'm punchy because this week sucked. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I don't have Mike here to shake his head disapprovingly at me.
About, a lot of the criticism about games journalism also comes down to games reviews and how biased or not biased they are, etc., and how reviews need to be objective, they need to be objective, blah, 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 blah. And basically this article was saying that it's just not possible for a review to be objective. The writer is always going to bring their own biases and personality and likes and dislikes into their analysis of a game.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's what makes
people
reviews
should chill the
interesting.
hell out
I mean,
about scores and whatnot. So
I mean, like Roger Ebert won a Pulitzer for his movie reviews, and
Right.
if you've ever read a Roger Ebert movie review, they are chock
cannot
full
disagree
of
with
his
him.
personality and his opinion, and they are
Yeah.
extremely well
That
written, even if you
makes
disagree
them
with them.
entertaining to read.
Yeah, the idea of the just mathematical formula that you can feed
Right.
a game into,
And then spit out a score at the end.
frames per second multiplied by the depth
Yeah.
of field.
Well, if it's not 60 frames a second, I don't see how it could get a 10.
Agreed. Well, there is no such thing as a 10. That's perfect. And
Oh, right.
there cannot, mathematically,
There's no
there
such
cannot
thing.
be a perfect game.
Perfect game.
So,
I love that. Love
so
that.
we need to have that special number reserved on our scale to never be used.
Right, to never be used. Yeah.
That's the carrot that we dangle for the developers to make them strive to reach. And if they
Right.
work hard enough, if they stay in school and believe in themselves, one day, maybe one day, they will create
They don't
the
copy that
perfect
floppy.
game. Oh man, you got to
Copy
copy
that
a couple floppies.
Gotta
I
break
copied
few
plenty
eggs.
of floppies back in the old Commodore 64 days. Let me tell you,
Mhm.
I had
Yes.
not but copied floppies back in the Commodore 64 days.
Well, with all this internet thing, it's good that Microsoft seems to be getting a little more chummy with at least part of the internet, and that is Reddit. There's apparently a
Oh, yeah.
Reddit app coming soon to your Xbox One.
Wait a second. It's like I have read it.
It's
Because
a
stuff you read things on there, so it's like you've
That's right. You've read it. Yeah.
gotcha.
sad commentary in the state of the PlayStation Network when Microsoft's already moving on to an effing Reddit app, and I still don't have YouTube on my PS4.
We don't have suspend and resume either. Let's
Yeah,
get up in
what's
arms
up with
with that.
Come on, man.
I'm more up in arms about that than I am about any of these other apps.
There's a dedicated
Could care less
NeoGAF
about.
browser coming to the Wii U though, which seems really weird.
No, there's not. You're lying. You're a lying liar. You used to be a games journalist. I bet you like lying to people.
I do. And you know what? I'll be honest with you. I like girls. I like girls.
Do they
I
like
like
you?
girls. One kinda does, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I see.
Your mom?
that's it. I said one. I said one.
Just
Trying to
one.
figure out which one we're talking about.
Note the one doesn't live with me.
Yikes.
So
So yeah, Reddit app coming to Xbox One.
Right.
Whatever. Another useless app on the Xbox One that I will undoubtedly never use.
Yeah, exactly. Heck, it probably doesn't even work in Canada anyway.
Oh man.
Probably not, because the internet's not available in Canada, right?
No.
Is that what we're
No.
saying? All right.
All my emails come by carrier moose. We almost hit a moose last week
What?
when we were traveling. Yep.
Really?
Had my true Canadian experience.
Canada!
We almost hit
Achievement unlocked.
That's the first
Almost
time.
Canadians.
Luckily, we swerved and crashed into a maple tree.
There's syrup everywhere.
Bunch of hockey players came and dug us out.
Luckily, we had some waffles.
You were a boot to die, eh?
And use the jaws of life on our toques.
You guys are assholes.
All right.
You're the one who almost hit a damn moose.
It wasn't my fault. He was in the road.
It was the moose's
Yeah.
fault.
It was the moose's fault. He was in the road.
I don't know how that moose got his license. Certainly wasn't my fault.
What's he doing? He wasn't doing the speed limit.
He was moving, swerving all over the road.
Yeah, I think he was. That moose was drunk.
Clearly cannot hold his liquor.
Clearly. All right. So Chris Kohler did an article for Wired.
He's the fellow who will
And-
make you jump.
Oh,
Yes. He's the Mac
Yeah, that's
Daddy or the Daddy Mac? I
Cross
forget.
Kohler.
Yes.
Well, there was a
Yeah.
Mac Daddy and a Daddy Mac, so
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's another Sega CD reference, though. Going all out.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Switch.
So talking about the headline of the article is why is PlayStation 4 selling so well?
Okay.
Which is that it's beating the pace of next gen platforms last generation, and so they take a quote from Shuhei Yoshida at Gamescom that is pretty interesting and kind of goes into why it might be selling so well. Because before this generation started, a lot of people were claiming that consoles were done. Right.
Yeah, boy, that's something I love hearing every other year.
Consoles are no longer going to be at the top. It's
true.
Coming back to PCs and iPhones, iPads, etc.
Yep.
So what do you guys think?
Well,
About what?
You can play.
Did you read the article?
No.
No.
Of course not.
Why? Why would you think that we had?
I don't know. It was in the outline for 5 days.
But what's
cute.
so what's the
outline.
conclusion of the article? So
Yeah.
it was telling us that it's selling better than the previous generation consoles sold up to this point. So
That's right.
was he surprised about that? Did he say that it was something
they are
that should be
surprised.
happening?
Yes, they are surprised. In fact, there's a wondering whether they're running through their possible consumer base too quickly. In fact.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
The biggest problem I have with the PS4 is that it sells almost too good.
Yeah, so he outlines a couple of potential explanations.
So was it like
traditional game consoles are not in danger at all? PlayStation 4 is cheap comparatively to a PC.
Sure.
Or, there's
and
no
nobody knows what the hell a Wii U is still.
Right, there's no shortage this time around. There was pent-up demand, being the long wait between the last generation and this one. And Sony executed perfectly while its competitors hamstrung themselves.
All very true.
So, very good explanations there.
Okay.
Any of which could be true, and all of which are going to make it, I think, more difficult for Microsoft to compete.
Having not read the article, I agree with everything you just said.
Yeah,
There you go.
But I will say
a
it is
lot of
surprising
things I agree with.
because
Yeah.
I think that, we're coming up on a year for both of these systems. Libraries aren't growing nearly as fast as I would like them to. There aren't nearly enough good games, really good games so far, as far as I'm concerned. But maybe that's just me. I barely ever play either of them.
No.
I'm still picking away at Forza 5, and that's pretty much the only current gen game I play.
Right.
Until like last week. So. But Forza Motorsports or Forza Horizon 2 is coming out soon, so I'll be playing a lot more when that happens. Yay!
Woohoo!
Looks purty. That game looks
Fantastic.
purty.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
More PlayStation news.
Oh boy.
So I know we're going to be accused of being Sony ponies here in a second. Sony is apparently shuttering.
They're gonna DDoS the.
I'm gonna
Player
you know what?
One
They're gonna look
site.
up everyone who Siege has ever slept with.
It's a long list. All right.
No.
Huh?
When you masturbate to your
What?
porn movies, that's not considered sleeping with them.
Oh,
not?
okay.
Oh.
Okay.
All right. So Sony is shuttering PlayStation Home in Asian territories.
PlayStation
Racist.
Home's still a thing?
I know.
I think that's the bigger story here.
Oh.
PlayStation Home
Yeah.
still exists in some capacity.
They're
must still
not
be a
closing it
moneymaker.
in America? Like I thought. Yeah. I guess it's still making them money. Who knew?
Who's going to PlayStation Home?
Have you been in there at all?
I was in there like twice, ages and ages and ages ago.
Every
Ages ago.
few months, I'll sort of dip my toe in.
Really?
By accident,
And
you went
there's-
to
it's
click on the
always-
PlayStation Store and accidentally
pretty much.
you went to
The
PlayStation
download
Home.
started, so I might as well let it finish.
Oh,
But, there are always people in there.
that's so weird.
Yeah.
Are
I don't
they
understand
dancing?
why. I don't get
They're
it.
always dancing.
I don't get it.
Moving their head. Yeah.
But there are people. Look at the moves on Johnston.
Yeah. You like that?
Yeah, it was good.
We'll start popping and locking soon.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
These are terrible topics, CJ.
They are terrible topics. Hey, I ordered a Retron 5.
From Think Geek.
I did. Because they're the only ones on the internet selling it for its MSRP.
Yeah.
It's new MSRP.
Who knew?
Do I want one of those? Because I was very tempted when I saw that they were available.
You do want one. But,
do I? Well.
Do you need one?
Well.
That's the question.
I don't know. Did you? I'm trying to remember. Did you get one, Greg?
No.
Okay.
I canceled mine because, I really didn't like the way they handled their PR leading up to the oft-delayed launch. So that pretty much turned me off the company. And I sort of got to thinking about it, and it's like, well, I have a bunch of there are consoles in between like the 16-bitters and now that I still want to play, right? And I couldn't do that, but like especially on my Saturn, I couldn't do that with the Retron 5. So I actually splurged and got a FrameMeister instead.
Yeah, not a bad idea.
Okay.
I'm using all the original hardware, which is nice. Although the Retron 5, you can use the original controllers, which is pretty much takes care of that.
Also good.
You don't have to worry about any of the weird incompatibility issues. And like that, I can plug my Saturn in via S-video cable into the FrameMeister, and then it does an HDMI pass-through, and it looks great. So now I can play that too, because I have all these games and all these systems sitting here anyway.
Right.
So I went that route instead.
Yeah, I didn't do the FrameMeister. Thought about it.
It's expensive.
A lot of TVs now, good luck hooking anything up. Or
well, you can't.
You can't.
And when you do, they look awful.
Via composite cables, and that's it. And it looks terrible.
Yeah, they look terrible.
But
yeah, like with the FrameMeister,
TVs.
It's the same you'll get with the Retron. I mean, if you're looking at old sprite-based games, it's razor sharp.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to that. In a big way, yeah.
Ooh,
but honestly, Bill, I mean, I don't know.
How much did you pay for your FrameMeister?
I don't remember. It was a lot.
Yeah.
Like $300-400, right? $400?
I think it came down.
That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
It's not cheap.
No, it's not a. Yeah. I mean, you've got to want it.
Yeah.
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 I was at a shop over the weekend because we drove up to North Carolina to visit my friend Paul, who you guys met at my wedding.
Yes.
And went to a shop called Second and Charles, and they're like it's like used books and records and DVDs and games, and they had like just a lot of NES games, a lot of Genesis stuff. And they also sold the full slate of Hyperkin consoles. And I had never seen all of the Retrons like laid out on a shelf before. It was pretty interesting. Yeah. They did not have the Retron 5, but they had the rest of them. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only other thing I would say is, and you've probably got the old controllers hanging around too, Phil, but
I do.
I've heard you want to use your old controllers on that.
Yeah. No, I definitely still have all my controllers, so.
Yeah.
Oh man, so tempted.
I fell in. I accepted temptation.
I know.
So I'll have more to say about that.
The other thing
later.
too, I don't know how it deals with your repro carts, but I know that like some of the Genesis games that have come out, like Pure Solar, for example, which is a Genesis RPG that was released by Watermelon a few years back. It will not work in the Retron 5.
Okay, I don't really have.
I thought you had a few
more
repro
than like a handful.
cards. Yeah,
a couple,
so
just maybe half a dozen.
So I mean, if that's something that you worry about, I would check and see whether those are actually going to work or not.
Do you play?
I
play those a lot in general.
Some of them. I have like the Versus Super Mario Brothers, which is neat to play, and the Donkey Kong Pie Factory version and stuff like that. So.
Nice. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but But I mean that's not a deal breaker for me.
Yeah.
So
I see.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Yes.
Greg,
Yo,
you've been playing some video games this week.
apparently I'm the only one according to our outline.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just saying. I got stuck in Rogue Legacy all week, so that's what I've been doing.
Oh, right on.
That game is good.
Yeah.
Good game.
I
We gotta finish
friggin'
that so we have
love-
more games to talk about in the coming
You
weeks.
know what? I'm going to. I will come right out and say it now. That's on the short list. Come early January.
For Game of the Year.
That's currently.
Really?
Currently.
Wow.
I don't know about Game of the Year, but it's certainly looking to make it into the top 5.
All
So-
right. Yeah.
I think it could happen.
Fantastique.
Maybe.
I'm loving it though. But go on.
Greg, you want to
Greg's
tell us
played
about what
games.
you've been playing? Yeah.
Sure. Wait, let me go check.
Well, you played Murdered Soul
Yes,
Suspect.
so I started playing Murdered Soul Suspect. This is a game that I pre-ordered in one of the Future Shop deals. I don't know
really?
why I pre-ordered it. It
I was
showed up
gonna
in the
say-
mail, and I'm like, why did I get this?
Are you playing this on PS4?
Yeah. It's like
Oh,
the
wow,
first
okay.
PS4 game I've played in months.
Huh.
And it's Murdered Soul Suspect. So this is a game from Square Enix. I forget the name of the team that made it.
But
It's a
they
cool idea.
no longer exist.
Oh, really? Is this one of the teams that died right after?
I think this was the Quantum Conundrum people, right?
Mm.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Anyway, it's a game about. Well, okay. The opening of the game, your protagonist dies in the opening scene, and then you play as his ghost for the rest of the game, trapped between worlds. And so the whole point of the game is to try to figure out why, not why you were killed, but because there's a policeman who's chasing a serial killer, and they have a tussle, and the serial killer pushes him out a window, and he dies. So you know why he killed you. He's a serial killer, but you're out to figure out who he is and figure out what's going on. Hang on one sec. Yeah, bud. No. Go back.
Yes,
into
it
the
was.
room.
It was Airtight Games, by the way, that developed the game.
Oh.
They
Right.
are closed now.
Okay.
Oh.
So anyway, the whole idea is like since you're a ghost, there's a lot of elements of being able to pass through walls and to possess people and read their thoughts and get them to influence them and things like that. So it's okay. It's pretty clunky, and it's very much like you're a ghost, so you can do anything you want except all this stuff we don't want you to do right now. So
Right.
it's like you're in Salem, and like you can go anywhere you want, but then they have this whole thing where some buildings have been consecrated or something like that. So you can't pass through those walls. You have to be invited into those buildings, or the door has to be opened by someone, and you
It's
can
like the Lost Boys.
slip in that way. Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of different things, and some people you can possess and influence, and others all you can do is read their minds and stuff like that. And as you're doing your investigations, you'll come across other mysteries that you have to solve. But solving them is only ever like, okay, like I found this ghost sitting in a closet in one of the apartment buildings crying because she didn't know what happened. So the whole idea is you have to figure out why she was killed and who killed her, right? But all you do is go possess the two other people in the room and read their thoughts in the right order. And then you have all these little fragments. So then you choose to solve the case. And basically it's like, okay, so here's everything you learned, and it shows up as little fragments with pictures on it that you can relive what you heard or what you saw. And then you have to choose the 3 that are the most relevant. And if you do that properly, you're done. Like, you don't really have to figure anything out. You just have to kind of guess what the game wants you to pick. And
Okay.
that's it. That's the whole mystery solving aspect of it. Other than that, like, there's a few little things like there are demons, because the whole idea is that you're a ghost that's trapped in this world because you have something you have to finish some business before you can move on, right? You can't go to heaven or hell or wherever. So the whole idea is that if you're trapped in the world too long, you become a demon. So there are demons wandering around the world as well, and you have to be able to hide from them, and you can sneak up behind them and defeat them and things like that. But that's kind of where the action comes in. So you'll see these demons floating around, and it's very Metal Gear Solid, where they have like a viewing cone in front of them. So if they see you, then they chase you, and you have to hide in the remnants of old spirits and things like that. And then when they, if you can sneak up behind them, you hit the R trigger, and then there's like a little button sequence you can do to destroy them, which again is okay, but it's not. Nothing in the game feels really fully realized. It feels very half finished. So it's all right. I've put a couple hours into it. I'll probably put a couple more in. I don't know if I'll finish it or not. If anyone wants to see it, I'm going to be posting the first couple hours I played on my YouTube channel. So you get to see what the game's like. Anyway,
excellent.
Very, very nice.
Yeah, it looked kind of interesting. I don't know.
It looks more interesting than it is.
Okay.
Which is a shame.
Maybe I'll just watch you play it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Too bad though. The team that did it also worked on Crimson Skies for the Xbox, and
so they had quite the pedigree.
Dark Void.
I remember Dark Void. Wow.
Yeah. So. Anyway.
So one of the other games I've been playing is an old Xbox game, Call of Cthulhu, or however you say that word.
Cthulhu?
Yeah.
Cthulhu.
He is a mythical creature from the works of R.L. Stein.
Somehow I don't think that's...
Anyway,
I'm pretty sure that's right.
So this is a game that's been in my backlog forever. I think it was Che Chow who reviewed this game back at Ziff Davis, and he seemed to really like it. And it's just one of those games that I've had for a long time, and figured, what the hell, I'm going to play Call of Cthulhu and see what it's like. It's really good. It's good in an early 2000s kind of way, though.
Like, how do you mean? Like, very simplistic gameplay? Very linear.
Yeah, kind of. And it's not even... Actually, it's not simplistic gameplay. It's that they tried to do a lot of things. It's a first-person game. I've yet to shoot anyone in it, and I've played it for about 3 hours now. So there are weapons, but I don't have any. So the whole idea is that it's free roaming. It's a free roaming first-person game, and you're in this town, Innsmouth, I think is the name of it. Again, another Massachusetts. I'm playing 2 games about horror games in Massachusetts. And it's free roaming, and the whole idea is that somebody has disappeared, and you're trying to find out what happened to them. But then the thing is that there's a cult that's taken over this whole town, and everybody's just they're really strange and creepy, and they all want to kill you, basically, when you come to town. So you get to town, and you can't escape. And eventually it turns out that they're all chasing you and trying to kill you, which is where I am in the game right now. But there's a lot of platforming and stuff like that in this first-person game, and we all know platforming in first person is really difficult to do right, and they didn't necessarily do it right in this game, but it's cool.
Jumping Flash, it's not.
Yeah. Actually, I was thinking more like Metroid Prime. I felt like they did the jumping in Metroid Prime perfectly, but it's cool because there's a lot of interesting things. Like you can get injured and you have to heal yourself, which isn't just hitting a button and you're healed. Like he has to stop and sit down and actually put bandages on and all that stuff. And if you really hurt yourself, like say you hurt your leg, he'll actually limp while you're walking. So if you're trying to run or something, you can't. And also his sanity is a thing. Like he has a sanity meter, and the more injured you get and the more intense the situation gets, he slows down. It gets harder to see. Everything gets a little blurry. He starts breathing really hard, and he's not as responsive as he should be. It reminds me actually a lot of something along the lines of Eternal Darkness. If you remember that game where the sanity effects were a big deal.
Right.
There was like one scene I was in recently where I was being chased by a bunch of these cultists, and I was up in some rafters, and I was trying to get across, but the game was like, I figured that his sanity was just going nuts because I couldn't focus. It was really hard to even walk a straight line. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And at one point I heard him whisper, don't look down, and then I died a couple times on it, and I'm sitting there thinking, okay, maybe it's not just his sanity. Maybe he's afraid of heights. Like, is my character afraid of heights? So the next time I got on there, I actually crouched, and every time I crouched, all the blurring effects went away. Like, you calm down, and then you could actually walk a straight line. And so there's like a ton of little interesting effects they've put in the game, which actually kept me playing because I was getting a little frustrated with it at one point. But yeah, it kept me going on it. So I'm really enjoying it. But it looks as old as it is. It's pretty clunky looking, and it's all really dark and dank. And but it is cool. I am enjoying it.
So you booted up your original Xbox for that?
I have my original Xbox hooked up.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
The behemoth.
Are you playing it using the Duke?
No, I don't have a Duke anymore. All I have is the what is it? The S controller.
Now wait. Now was this the reason why you had all those renovations done to your house? You were making room for the original Xbox?
Yeah, it doubles as
adding
my
on a
bedroom.
room. Okay, that makes sense.
She sleeps on top of the
That makes
Xbox,
sense.
actually.
It's understandable.
Replace your box spring with the Xbox.
An X
Box
spring.
spring.
I get jokes.
And again, if you want to check out some of this, I have some videos of that up on YouTube as well.
Cool.
CJ links to my YouTube channel in the show notes. So
I'm all into that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the last game I was
Anything
playing this week is actually something new, which CJ turned me on to. Motorsport Manager, which just came out on iOS. I don't know if it's on Android yet or not, but
No.
yeah. So this is something that you guys will never play. CJ, did you buy it?
I did buy it, and I'll tell you why.
Because of the graphics.
This game, like, I read this site called Pocket Tactics, and they have they basically just follow like premium iOS games that are in very specific genres, totally not mainstream stuff. And this came up as it was like a preview that was coming out this week, and I looked at the screenshots and I was like, "Holy crap! Like this looks really good." It's called Motorsport Manager, so immediately I have absolutely no interest in such a game, but it looks so damn good, and apparently it was programmed all by one guy. One guy did this game.
Yeah.
A team of one. And it just looks so damn good. I had to reward the amazing design by paying the $5 for it.
It's right.
And I did start playing a little bit of it, but I don't think I'm going to get into it.
So I mean, one of the reasons, like, the game is pretty, and it's weird to say that about a motorsport simulator, because the whole idea of a motorsport manager type game, this is a genre, and the whole idea is that you're actually controlling the team. You're really just making decisions. You don't do any of the actual racing. While the racing is happening in real time, you can give commands to your drivers, and you change their strategy and their pit cycle and all that sort of thing. But the game looks really good because when you're in the actual race, it uses like a diorama filter on the graphics, kind of the same way.
Like a tilt shift.
Yeah, kind of the same way that SimCity did, the most recent SimCity, which was the only good thing about that game with the visuals. So it's got this really nice look to it when you're out racing. But yeah, basically, so you run a team, you build your headquarters, you hire and fire engineers and personnel, drivers, you bring up younger drivers, and you design. Well, you don't really design the cars, you hire the engineers to design the cars, and then you go out and you race in these various series. And while you're racing, you set up their qualifying and tell them when to push the car, when to be conservative to save tires, when they need to come into pit, deal with the weather changes and stuff like that. Yep. And for anybody who's interested in this sort of thing, this is probably one of the best, one of the most user-friendly types of these games I've ever tried. Because I have tried a bunch of them in the past, and it's always been, I don't know if it's too deep for me or just that the interface is not that great. I think it's always been kind of a mixture of the two. But this one is really sort of basic in a good way. It's really easy to tell what's going on all the time. It's really easy to control everything and make the decisions.
You can fast forward the races too.
You can fast forward the races.
Really?
It's really well done. And I would totally, if you're at all interested in games like this, for the $5, it's worth the $5. Totally worth the $5.
And the fun thing is they do little like Twitter conversations after
Yeah.
the races. Like you'll check Twitter and people will have like said something about your performance in the race. It's
Yeah.
great. Those are really funny, well written lines.
Yeah. And you have to choose. It always when you're in the management side of it between races, it always presents you with. It actually calls them just dilemmas, and like if you have someone who only has 3 months left in their contract, they'll come talk to you and ask you to negotiate, or you'll have a sponsor. I forget the name of it. There was one that was like a really shady sponsor that wanted my drivers to appear in one of their commercials, and I had to choose whether I wanted to do that or like run from the conversation or something like that. And it always affects like your drivers' morale and your fan base and things like that. So, no, it's really well done. I'm so glad you turned me on to it because it's the first iOS game I've played a bunch of in a long time, and it's
Yeah, it's great.
yeah, and
$5, no IAP or anything. It's
yeah,
it's really
And
well
it's a-
designed.
it's a cross-platform app, which saves to the cloud. So like if you play it on your phone and then you pick up your iPad, as long as they're both connected, it just immediately picks up your save game.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
Yep, really cool little game.
Yes, indeed. I started playing
Awesome.
CounterSpy.
Yeah.
I picked it up on the Play 2014 deal thing, so it was like $11
Nice.
on PSN. I just liked. I watched a couple trailers, read a couple previews. It sounded like something that I would enjoy.
Yeah.
So it's like a side-scrolling shooter kind of level-based. So it's more puzzle than action game probably. I've only played like the first 2 levels on the Vita. I started on the Vita. And I love the style. It's very 60s sort of spy-ish, although the graphics are sort of monochromatic shadows and very like propaganda poster-ish, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, seems interesting so far. I'm going to continue playing that this week. But it was kind of interesting. Most Vita games, bring up the, would you like to create a save file? Hit OK and create a save file. All right, I'm saving now, so I bring up the gray PlayStation window that it's saving your game and all that. This doesn't do that for some reason, so I'm not sure if it's been saving my game or not. So I guess I'll find out. I'll find that out this week.
Good luck to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
But that's basically been it for me. Let's do some
Outstanding.
tweets. Yeah.
Tweeter?
You
Yeah.
like tweets? I like tweets.
Tweeter!
All right, let's read some tweets. Let's do this one from hacker alias JCA Farley, who says the Xbox One currently has a smaller install base than the Wii U. Why are they still attracting publishers when the Wii U can't?
Because you can do your basic game on the PS4 and it'll translate to the Xbox One pretty easily.
That's probably the
There is certainly
simplest answer.
And the other thing is, too, that a lot of the games that are probably still in development and to be released by the end of this year, those were all... The decision on which systems to support were made before the Xbox One and PS4 even came out.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you're still in the remnants of that, too. So I'll bet lead skew on... There's that word for CJ. Lead skew on a lot of those is probably the Xbox One, because I think the safe money said that the Xbox One would be more popular in the U.S. back before everything happened. So, and we're talking dev time over a year, and those systems haven't even been out a year. But even then, the thing is that when they're similar spec, the crossover is much easier than, of course, translating to a Wii U, right?
Right.
It was the same thing with the last generation too. It honestly didn't matter as long as the Xbox 360 or the PS3 were both doing well. You were always going to see most cross-platform games on both of those consoles because they were similar power. Whereas if you wanted to do a Wii version of your game, it needed to be its own game, which added a lot of dev time and a lot of resources. So same thing with the Wii U, I'm guessing.
Yeah, but really, what do you know about game development?
Not much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I think a lot of the contracts and plans for these versions of games were made, a long time ago. So Xbox One versions of all these games are, no surprise that it's still coming out. And it's still early in that race, right? And the 360 was the leader last time, and it's still kind of anybody's market, even though the Xbox has not reached 10 million sales, which PS4 has, but
and on top of all that, sorry, just to keep going a little bit with this, is like, any extra SKU is extra resources and extra money.
That's right.
And the thing is that the Nintendo market has not proven itself friendly to
That's
a lot
correct.
of AAA games. So why would you spend the money on that?
Right. I think when you have a Nintendo console launch, what you have are publishers who sort of line up their usual suspects. Right. And in a let's try this again this round. Let's see if any of these take hold. And in the Wii U's case, they did not take hold. So of course, they're not going to continue supporting it. Yeah. That's not a surprise, and it sucks if you're a Nintendo only fan.
Yep.
But I think a lot of people own a Wii. If you own a Wii U, it's probably in addition to another console. Right.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Hacker alias Docky says, what do you think of British retro games like those from the ZX Spectrum and Amiga? Have you ever loaded games from cassette?
Oh, man. Don't get me started on school days.
This is Hills area.
Crap.
Commodore.
Holy crap. I've never used a cassette to play games. I've not.
You haven't?
No, never loaded games.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No, I mean, at a friend's house back in the day, I may have, but I certainly never had a system or computer that had a cassette drive.
I have a cassette drive from my Commodore 64.
Oh yeah?
Do you?
I haven't used it.
Ever? Or
no, never. Because I mean, my Commodore is new for me. I've only had it for like a year. And I've played around with the games that I have on disc, but I've never played with any of the cassettes that I have.
Really?
Well, all right then.
I mean, any retro European games that I have experience with would have been from the old Commodore 64 days, and even back then, probably a lot of the time I wouldn't have even known that they were British.
Where do you stand on Zool?
Zool.
I am not, and was never really a big fan of British platformers.
Yeah, generally me neither.
Yeah,
some of them are alright.
Yeah, I mean, the Spectrum never even set foot over here, right? Like the Amiga, at least that came out.
For me, the ZX Spectrum, one of the sexiest pieces of retro. I love the way that thing looks. With the little rainbows, the little rainbow slash on the side. It's just a little black keyboard, really, with rubber keys, and it's got like this little rainbow slash on one side of it. It looks awesome. I love the design on that system. But yeah,
I don't think I've ever seen one of these. Okay.
They're very, they seem very underpowered nowadays. Like they just seem so. I mean, the NES is now too, and the Master System and everything. But it just seemed like they were a little bit. If you look at some of those really old microcomputer games from the UK, just like you have one or two colors on screen, and they can't do scrolling for the most part. The very early ones. I mean, all that stuff changed. But it also created like a really big sort of basement coding push in that country. Like a lot of the big game designers from the mid '90s were coding their own games on their BBC Micros or their ZX Spectrums or something back then. So the same as the PC market here, I guess. They're Amstrads. There you go.
Yeah, I mean the Amiga. I was always interested in the Amiga for one reason well, two reasons, I guess. Dragon's Lair and Space Ace were on the Amiga.
Really?
They looked really good because you'd go into
Yeah.
like a Radio Shack or anywhere where they sold Tandy computers.
Oh man,
And,
the Tandy computer. That was my first
They-
computer.
They would often also sell Amigas, and I don't know. I don't think Tandy is Amiga at all.
No.
But anyway, so they would also have at this particular Radio Shack that I went to. They had an Amiga there, and it was always running Dragon's Lair and Space Ace.
Really?
And it was always like, oh man, I enjoyed those games, and I was like, wow, any system that could or any computer that runs Space Ace and Dragon's Lair is something I'm very interested in, but never could convince the parents to get a computer for gaming.
Yeah.
We eventually got an Apple II GS that I didn't do very much gaming on, but and now I have a Mac and I don't do any gaming on that either.
I just remembered.
Apple
from that.
2GS had a bang-up version of Zany Golf.
There you go.
Oh yeah, all right. I mostly
just remember-
I played Test Drive on that and King's Quest
King's Quest was on everything.
3.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it was 4.
Yeah.
But
The
anyway,
Perils of Rosella.
yeah.
It was King's Quest 3, I think.
Yep.
To Air is Human. I love
Yeah,
that.
what a... Oh, yeah. What I played, there was a Commodore game called Gribbly's Day Out that I was really big into back in the day. I know that is European. Obviously, Gianna Sisters
Mhm.
is
course.
German
Yes.
in
Common.
origin there. And some of the old Jeff Minter games. One of my favorites back in the day was Hover Bover, which is the lawn
They
mowing
made up
game.
words for those games, didn't they?
Yeah, that's not
I know.
real. Come on.
It is real. It is
I'm
real.
sure it
You
is.
know
I'm
what?
sure it is.
If you were able to talk to Jeff Minter without him just grabbing you by
Leaning
the
at you?
throat and throttling you, yeah,
Me?
then you could ask him about
Oh.
it. Yeah. You know Jeff Minter doesn't like you. Yeah, it's you personally.
Wow.
You
Well,
personally. You got into some sort of like internet fight with Jeff Minter, and now he's
That's true.
looking
I
out
did.
for you.
Oh,
yeah.
well.
All I
Yeah,
really remember.
I like Tempest 2000 on the Jaguar.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't like you.
I guess
I
not.
don't want to get involved in whatever altercation you and Yak are gonna
All right, let's
gonna
move
have
on.
going on.
Let's move on.
But oh
let's
man, let me
say
let me
one more
spend an
thing.
hour talking about school days
Yeah,
because
there we go.
school days.
we've already heard that.
Friggin'
Heard that.
I love
just,
school
I just want to
days.
say one more thing though, whereas like I remember back in the NES days, a friend of mine had a Commodore 64, and I was always blown away with how everything looked on that system compared to like
Yeah.
my Nintendo. And then during the
Yeah.
16-bit, like the early 90s, I would always read what is it? Video Games and Computer Entertainment magazine,
Yeah.
which was great, and they
Hmm.
covered Amiga games, and it was always, especially anything by Psygnosis. Oh my God, it looked amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Like it just
Yeah.
oh wow, like I'll never ever see games that look that good on my consoles. So I always
Right.
pined for those games, but I never owned any of those systems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait a second. Trash Man. Trash Man was a Commodore 64 game that I loved back in the day, and it turns out that is European as well.
Hmm.
Malcolm Evans
Hacker
created
Alias
Trash Man.
Well-Fed Games.
You were
says-
a garbage man. You had to go collect garbage and dump it in your dump truck. Man, a lot
He
of
says
great
if the
European
rest of
games.
you
I'm
had to
sorry.
create a Generation 16/Crontendo/Game Boy World style retrospective series, what console would you choose?
Wonder Swan? No, you know what?
Hmm.
I would choose Virtual Boy because it wouldn't be much work.
Yeah, that's true.
You could
Yeah.
probably get like maybe 3 or 4 episodes, and then I'd be done.
Hmm.
What was the Game Boy one?
Game Boy World.
The Game Boy one?
World.
Game Boy World. Is that does
That's
that
true.
focus? I see. I'm not familiar.
You should go check
What?
that out.
No.
Jeremy Parrish does that.
That's yeah. Is that well, I knew he was writing stuff about it. They're It's video as well.
Yeah, he does a video for every
Okay.
one of his write-ups.
Okay. Well, I mean, Jeremy Parrish isn't. He's not terribly knowledgeable about games,
About old games.
which is unfortunate. No, Jeremy knows what he's talking about with the old games. I probably would have said the old black and white Game Boy, just because I do have this weird sort of affinity for those old games. But if Jeremy's doing it, I would not be able to do anything better than what Jeremy is doing. I could probably do a Genesis one better than what's out there now. Certainly less.
That's awfully mean to Dr. Sparkle and his Sega. His Con Sega series.
Oh, man.
I'm taking Tiger Electronics LCD games. That'd be mine.
Ah, there you go. Actually, you know what?
Maybe Dreamcast.
Dreamcast would be
Dreamcast,
legitimately fun to do and kind of interesting is Game & Watch.
Yeah.
Interesting to who?
Interesting to me.
You'd like to see somebody do that?
I would totally watch a Game & Watch retrospective where they go through and play each one, and yeah, because I like the Game & Watch. So I'm going to say that. Serious answer.
Good.
And you know what? I'm going to use this opportunity, Greg.
Yes.
Greg.
Mm-hmm.
I know at least two of us here have seen the latest episode of Generation 16. I can almost assure you that one of us has not.
Are you sure about that? Are you really sure about that? How sure are you?
I wouldn't bet my life on it. I wouldn't bet my life on it, but
you're right. You're right.
What a jerk.
Yeah, of course
I wasn't at home this weekend. Come on. I was traveling.
I didn't watch it this weekend.
They don't have the internet there. They don't have the internet
there
live
yet. Greg?
I went live on Friday.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I watched it Friday evening.
I was not around.
I watched it Friday evening, and it's a humdinger of an episode. Another winner.
Thanks, man.
So,
Another triumph.
I don't like it enough to give you money, but
well, and that's cool. I'm all
but
right
I'll
with
gladly. Well, yeah. Come on, man.
No, I'm totally. But hey, I do want to say, the people who have donated to the Patreon account, thank you very much.
No,
really
seriously.
appreciate
I saw all the names in the credits and everything.
Cameron Davis is one of them.
That's right, he is.
Our good buddy Cameron Davis. TJ Lowerman.
Yes, indeed.
Larrabee. Some very good people.
now here's something though that'll steam your clams.
Uh-oh.
I did contribute to Cameron Davis's Kickstarter.
It's called Steam Your Hams.
Ah,
clams.
Simpsons. They're showing all the episodes. Have you seen that? Have you noticed that on Twitter lately? People talking about the Simpsons. I did give to Cameron's Kickstarter campaign.
Well, now I'm a little upset, but
well,
no, Cameron's good people. He deserves it.
I had some disposable income at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Let me find it.
Your eBay auction ended, didn't it?
It did. It did. It did.
You want to tell us the details?
What, for my House of the Dead?
Yeah.
It did okay.
Was that unopened?
It was unopened.
Nice.
Brand new.
That would have done okay.
Original factory shrink wrap. Yeah. Did you see what it did, Greg?
No, I didn't see how much it went for.
I got a G for it.
Are you kidding? No, I guess
I am not kidding.
That makes sense.
No?
It's a good time for that because that's one of the hardest games to get, the American version, and sealed, and now because of the collectors, it seems like prices have skyrocketed, especially on anything from the 80s and 90s. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
I'll tell you what, I bubble wrapped the hell out of that thing.
I did. Big and brittle Saturn cases, so.
Yeah.
How much did it
I tossed it in a padded envelope.
The ending bid? What was the ending bid?
It was.
Sent it media mail?
It was. Yeah. I just tape some brown paper around it.
Do not drop.
Hand wrote the
Fragile.
careful.
Fragile.
Sent it media mail. I figured it's, I told him I would pay for shipping, and I'm not going to pay for like priority or whatever.
Sure.
He wants it sent quick. He can pay.
What was the ending?
It was it was 900 something.
Man,
it was upwards of 1,000. Yeah.
Not bad.
Pretty nice.
So yeah.
Hang on, I'll be right
back.
back.
Yeah. The
Did you get any
bills,
amazing
that I
questions from potential buyers? Did you get any fun ones?
Nothing too crazy. Nothing really crazy. Just a couple people wanted me to end the auction early and just sell it to them, which is no.
Right.
No.
Of course not.
People wanting buy it now, and I was like, well, if I had wanted to do a buy it now, I would have put that in the auction. And
that's right.
People wanting to know what the reserve was, which
yes, of course,
defeats the purpose of the reserve. I will say, I did quite a bit better than the reserve.
Well, that's good.
I had no frame of reference for how much that would be worth. All the ones I saw on eBay, the couple U.S. ones. There's a bunch of Japanese versions, but the U.S. ones were all open or disc only or whatever. And it seemed like the open ones were going for maybe like 200, 250, somewhere in that range.
Okay.
Which I would have been happy with that, but
it's nice to get. Yeah.
But I'm 4 times as happy about the other. So.
Yeah. All right. Hacker Alias Tripon1 says, should Microsoft sell an adapter for the Duke?
What?
I'm assuming for the Master Chief collection that comes out in November for the Xbox One. No, of course they shouldn't.
I would use that.
Oh man.
For the first Halo? Oh god, yeah. That's how I played the first Halo, was with the Duke.
It's a pre-order bonus at GameStop.
Yeah, there you go.
GameStop only.
Yeah.
USB adapter for the Duke.
Yes.
Yeah. I when the original Xbox came out, I bought a Mad Catz made a really nice smaller controller for the Xbox.
Oh yeah.
That was very nice. So I had a couple of those.
It was almost too small though.
The Duke. No, it wasn't. No.
It's funny is you're the biggest guy here.
I have the largest hands of any of us.
You're the one who needed the tiny controller.
The one thing I don't like about the Mad Catz Xbox controller is that it's almost too small.
That's right. Yeah.
Anything?
Was never good.
No.
That joke was never good.
No. But I still have those Mad Catz controllers.
Of course you do.
I gotta hook up my original Xbox at some point.
It's not easy.
Apparently, also like the battery for the clock or whatever is somebody on NeoGAF posted a thread that basically those are getting to the point where they're about to explode on most people's systems. So you have to like remove that, otherwise it may corrupt the motherboard. Yeah.
Is that how batteries? Do all of that batteries eventually explode?
No, the battery will leak onto the motherboard basically and render the system inoperable.
I know my battery doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, but apparently you need to remove it entirely.
Nah, I'm not gonna do it.
Pull out entirely. All right. Let's see.
Really?
Yeah, sure. That was from Mike.
I can't tell if Phil's frozen up or he's
horrified,
extremely still. But now I know he's just being extremely still because there was a smirk.
Right. All right. But if it did freeze, it's a great expression there. All right. So, hold on. Let me full screen that. Let's see.
You can do that?
He may have disconnected.
Oh, maybe he did this. So then my smirk was imagined.
Funny though. I guess your smirk was imagined. All right, and he dropped. All right. was great. Hacker alias Sean697 says, how do you guys battle game apathy? Having been playing 30 plus years, do you ever feel like you've seen it all?
You know, the best thing for me, the best solution for game apathy for me was not working as a game reviewer anymore.
Yes.
I fell back in love with
That is
video games
definitely.
when I stopped reviewing games for a living.
Yeah.
Hi, Phil.
Phil's back.
Oh, I think he's
This
gone
time.
again.
Was it Chris Kohler had some tweets this week where I think he is gone again. Where Nintendo had some kind of NDA that they gave out with review copies that said you are not allowed to talk about this, and this, and all of those bullet points in the list were major spoilers from the game, and I definitely don't miss that type of thing. Like if you wanna have a pure game experience, don't review video games for a living. Don't.
But even
don't go into
outside of that. I mean, that's definitely a major problem, and my big story about that is Metal Gear Solid 2, because I was the reviews editor on EGM when Metal Gear Solid 2 came out. I didn't review it. There were 3 guys who actually went to Konami to review it because of obviously the big spoiler, and of course I had to copy it at the review, and so I read it, and they're like, oh, that's great, so now I know exactly what's going to happen when I play this game. But to me, that wasn't even the biggest problem. The biggest problem for me was, especially when I went freelance and I was making my living just reviewing games, you never enjoy anything. All you're worried about is that you have, like, until this date to play as much of this as you can.
It's suddenly work.
Yeah. And, you know, I mean, it's not hard work. Don't get me wrong, the people who whine about it being hard work are nuts, but it is hard on your love of the hobby, for sure. And
of the game experience in general.
And I mean, you mentioned it too, that there was a time when you just stopped playing games. And it was the same for me.
Months.
But then when I got out of reviewing, I fell back in love with video games again. Actually, as soon as I started in game development, I fell back in love with video games again, because then I could play whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, and take as long as I wanted to play it. So, yeah, and that's the other big thing is I don't feel. That's the other big thing now is I don't feel obligated to play everything now. Just what I want.
Yeah, that's an important thing, because when playing everything is a fun experience at first.
Yeah,
but then you're right. You played everything.
Reality sets in.
So then, you know, it games lose the lose their ability to surprise you. And also, if you're being shown games before release, you know, like companies will come in and show you the coolest parts of this game you may have wanted to play, but for their demo, they're shuttling around different areas of the game to show it to you, and now you've seen the best parts of it, and you know, what's the fun in that? So
there's an element of fun there too, especially if you're somebody who's interested in the process of game design and game development, because you get to see things that aren't done. I know, like with Eco for me was an example where we played an early version of that game, and it was cool to see how it changed by the time it was done. But in general, it's, you know.
Yeah, for me it was like there was a point where, like, being able to see some of these things first was awesome. You know, like to be able to see the GameCube first at the unveiling in Japan was pretty freaking awesome. That was a great experience, right? And there's some of that I wouldn't replace. Working in the industry at that time was fantastic. But in terms of, you know, at a certain point, you have reviewed a lot of games in a lot of genres, and it's just hard to get excited about another version of, you know, X game. Whereas now, I play what I want, and it's surprising again, which is great. Don't have to worry about that anymore.
They call it Cthulhu. You'll be surprised.
Really?
Yeah. What about you, Phil? What do you do to stave off game apathy? And have you ever do you ever feel like you've played or seen it all?
Man, let me tell you, there was a time when, nah, I don't know. I just like you guys were saying, just kind of being a little removed from the sort of press media side of things is great because, yeah, there have been too many times where I've had to review a game that I'd been really looking forward to, which on the surface you're like, oh, this is great. I get to play it now, and I'm getting paid to play this game I want. But it's like, get through it in 2 days.
It's as if a food critic has to eat their meal on the pace of like an eating competition. It's like it may be good food,
Yeah.
but you have to consume it so quickly you've lost all enjoyment out of it.
Yeah.
Or then you could
like I might really.
Or then you could just work for Expert Gamer.
Yeah.
Play through this. You have to finish it and make a bunch of maps.
Yeah, exactly.
That's even worse. That
was always fun. Yeah. But yeah, it was not great, and it was very refreshing. Like when I quit working at game school, I think the first game I played after leaving was Resident Evil 4. And it was really, really weird putting that game in and sitting down at home and booting it up and realizing as I started playing, I can take as long as I want with this. I can just sit here and
it's great.
Wander around and explore and stuff, and I don't have to hurry because there's some other game that I need to get to because I have to review it. I can just enjoy this one game and play it to the end, and
I don't know what's about to happen around every corner.
Right.
Yeah, I haven't been seeing previews of it for months because I've been working on it and stuff like that. So
that's actually
really
what
nice.
I've enjoyed about. I mean, The Last of Us was great for that, but I feel like Destiny. I have not been reading a lot of previews for that game. I haven't been watching a lot of trailers for that. I played the alpha and the beta, and looking forward to the full version of that. That feels like a game that would be very hard to review as well because it is so dependent on network play. So it'll be interesting to watch how that whole thing goes down and which outlets, if any, decide that they're going to hold off on reviews until the weeks after release when they see how the community goes and how network connectivity goes and all of that good stuff. But anyway, let's move on. Hacker Alias, the real D Vance, says, I feel like the big deal surrounding midnight releases is slowly dying off. What was the last midnight release you guys attended?
Oh, man.
Jeez.
Mine was Rock Band 3.
I don't even remember.
Maybe Halo 3?
I'm too old to care.
Yeah.
It's weird. I feel like the midnight releases
Does
become
it
a thing
count if
that
I'm
turned into like people sitting at home waiting for midnight because of all the digital delivery stuff.
I was just gonna say that.
Well, now
does it count if I'm waiting till 9 p.m. for Nintendo to put a game up on?
Yeah. Now it's even better. Like with Sony and the PS4, you can preload games.
And the Xbox One soon.
Oh, yeah.
And the Xbox One soon, yeah. And you can just watch a timer count down until when you will be allowed to play said game, which I think is awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
Like you don't even have to wait. You can just immediately press the button and boot it at midnight. Fantastic. Love it.
For sure.
Yeah. All right, then.
Yeah.
What else we got? All right, this one from Hacker Alias Glass Jonah. Thoughts on swing copters, a.k.a. Vertibird?
I love that name. What? Oh, is this another Flappy Bird thing?
Yeah, swing copters is
the same
new
guy, right?
game by Dong Nguyen.
Yeah.
and the Flappy Bird guy.
Didn't
I
even
tried it,
bother
I
downloading it.
I died a whole bunch.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
try it.
My high scores
I
are
don't.
going.
I don't care.
You don't care? All right.
No. I don't. Did I care?
No, I guess it's a free
should
game.
I?
You may
No.
as well try it. No?
I'm not going to waste my time because I'd be wasting my time uninstalling it. I have no need for that.
Okay.
So, how much more will you be playing it, CJ?
How much more will I be playing it? Probably
Just
not
as
much
as it's
more.
going to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does not much more mean never?
No, it does not mean never.
Okay.
I'll probably play it
Okay.
at least a little more. Yeah. At least a little more.
Are you going to pay to turn off ads?
No. You know that nobody does that, right?
Oh
It's the
no,
most
everybody
ridiculous.
does it.
Really? Have you done that?
No.
All right, let's
Can't
do this
say
one
that.
from hacker alias Kulafia. He says, if you were given unlimited resources to make to make Vita the best-selling console ever and couldn't price drop it, what would you do?
Buy every Vita I could.
And then it would be successful.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean unlimited resources. I was going to say buy everyone a Vita. That would have been
buy them every game.
See, whereas
Because my
Greg,
resources are unlimited.
whereas Greg would have hoarded them all to himself,
I
I
didn't
would have
say that.
distributed them. You just said I'd buy every Vita.
Yeah, so would you. You're talking about doing the exact same
And then
thing.
what? And then what? Bury them in the desert?
No, how would that
And
make
hope
it?
someone-
How would that make it a good
years?
system?
Well, in 30 years, you could have
Well-
a documentary by Coolby on top.
Yeah.
Then is Coleco coming back?
Crushed.
Coleco coming back, and they'll dig it up and show you all these Vitas.
Yeah. Crushed Vitas would go for a small fortune on eBay.
You make all your money
I
back
think-
with those unlimited resources.
I think I would play up the whole
Yeah.
remote play thing. Play that up.
Yeah.
The PS4 remote play stuff. And I know that a friend of the show, Ethan Einhorn, has been enjoying the heck out of remote play on his Vita.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, him in that remote play. That's like his.
That's his
He's
thing.
hitched his wagon to that.
Yep.
He
Yeah.
has. I cannot
Yeah.
get remote play working very well at all. Like, you know, I'd like some video game website to do a guide on how the hell to get your networking stuff to work well with remote play. 'Cause
Don't
mine
go-
does not. It's laggy as shit, and then it disconnects, and that's it. That's the end of that. I could never
turn
play a game via
You turn
remote
off the
play.
torrents before you do remote play?
Yes, of course.
I don't believe you.
I don't torrent anything. I have
Mhm.
not. I've not downloaded a torrent in over a year.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I swear.
Really? Where are
Mm-hmm.
you getting all your porn then?
Yeah, really.
There are internet sites for that where you don't have to download anything. You guys not aware of this? It's
You
the
just streaming
internet.
right now then?
That's right.
Tell us more, CJ. Tell
Well,
us more.
Favorite sites.
RedTube.
Tell me more, tell me more. Did you download your porn? Tell me more, tell me.
I would do that. I would do. You know, it's too bad that they.
Grease XXX.
So remote play, I would do more with the whole cross-buy, cross-save thing. I mean,
Yeah.
Rogue Legacy is awesome with that. Like, I would, if that had
Tell me
started
about it.
earlier, that would have been great. You know, that really would have helped things
Yep.
out. So.
See, I go
that's
the
probably
opposite
where
route.
I'd focus.
I would make a bunch of AAA titles Vita exclusive.
Yeah.
What does Cross-Buy do to help the Vita? Nothing.
Well, which titles would you use? You know, they did. I mean, they did Uncharted and they did
what
a
game do you
Killzone
want to play
and
the
they did.
most in the next year?
What games do I want to play the most? Uncharted 4.
Vita exclusive.
Well, what about The Order 1886?
Is that a game you really want to play?
Yeah, I do.
Vita exclusive.
New Zelda.
I'm gonna start a petition
Well, I can't
to
do
not
anything
make
about
it not make it Vita exclusive.
Who
How
knows?
dare you take
With
away?
unlimited resources, I may be able to get Zelda as a Vita exclusive.
That's actually a good idea.
See, your whole your hippie free love cross-buy crap is not going to sell more Vitas because if you already
Hey man,
you're not buying a Vita.
we're all just a part of the cloud, man.
When
Can't
CJ's busy
see?
sticking the daisy in the barrel of the gun, Daddy's back.
Yeah, man.
Decisions.
What video is that from?
What?
What?
I don't know. Anyway, all right. Let's see.
Wait. Do you not know what Greg is referring to?
No, I don't. What?
Really?
What's going on?
I'm not. I refuse to
so.
explain it.
All right, fine. I'll figure it out later, maybe. Let's stop with this one. Let's do this from.
Because I got to finish watching the F1 race, so let's hurry.
CJ,
Yeah. What's that?
you don't get the flower in the gun barrel.
No, why? Is it song lyrics or something?
Jeez. Oh my God, CJ, it's freaking American history. A Canadian knows more about American history. It was Vietnam protests. Like the National Guard or something was lined up, ready to aiming their guns at protesters. You know, sort of thing that happens in Missouri these days.
Oh.
But well,
No, you're not wrong.
I'm not wrong. Of course, the people in Missouri are smart enough to not go near
The
the
raised
people
weapons?
with the guns because they'll get shot.
Yeah.
He had a flower and a dehumanizing stare, so I had to shoot. We're getting very political on this episode.
Yeah, we're really bringing down the end of this episode.
A little too much.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do this
Cheer us
one.
up, DJ.
Hacker alias Duff Dunces.
Okay.
Duffman.
Either one.
Yeah.
He says, I'm thinking about buying an Xbox One, but am concerned that it's
What was
already
your first mistake?
lost to the PS4.
Sorry.
Could it
Yeah.
become an also-ran like the Wii U?
I am interested to see if the whole idea of being able to stream your media
Yeah.
is going to change things a little bit.
No, it's not. Of course not.
I think it's going to make it a
No.
more... Okay.
No, it's not. No.
I don't think it's an also-ran yet.
The people who want to stream media to their television probably already have ways to do that.
I don't.
You don't?
Nope.
Okay. Well, you don't, but other people do. Whether they've installed, XBMC to their Boxy box or whatever, like I would generally say that people probably have ways to stream to their television. So I don't know if that by itself would be enough to turn the tide.
I'm not saying it by itself, though. What I'm saying is that it's a box that does other things, too. So it's
mean
just
TV,
one more
TV.
thing that it can do. Well, TV and video games, all in one box.
Yeah.
One thing to have plugged in, one thing to have hooked up. I'm not saying, maybe that's not a thing people want. It doesn't seem to be a thing people want right at this point, but who knows?
True.
I don't think it's an also-ran. And again, I think going back to what we talked about earlier, that even if its sales continue to be continue to slump, I think for a while anyway, you're still not in danger of AAA third-party games missing that system. Because as long as the PS4 is healthy,
No.
I think you'll still see releases for the Xbox One.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends what next generation system you're going to get. Like, if you have a PS4 already and you're thinking about buying an Xbox One, that's different than you have no next generation platform and you're thinking about buying an Xbox One, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's already lost to the PS4. this holiday season. Probably by next spring, we'll probably have a better idea of if that's going to be the way of things. But even if that occurs, I think it'll be much more like PS3 and 360 from last gen than like the Wii U, where there's just nothing, right?
Right.
Except for Nintendo's own games.
I think so too.
Yeah, but if it'll be interesting to see how Sunset Overdrive does on that system. It'll be interesting to see if the Master Chief Collection can bring people back to Halo, because I think a lot of people sort of dropped off of that train, and are Halo fans going to completely jump ship and go to Destiny, or is it? And are those players going to be on PS4, or is it going to be more evenly matched than say Watch Dogs was back in May, where I think 50% of sales of Watch Dogs overall across all platforms was on PS4? But yeah, I don't think it's going to be ever be like the Wii U, unless Microsoft were to pull the plug on the system completely, which
is always an issue.
It's a potential problem, but I would hope they don't do that. So
yeah,
at least not before releasing Quantum Break. Come on.
Yes, please.
Crackdown.
And Crackdown.
Crackdown.
Crackdown is good stuff.
Yep.
All right, we call that a show?
Let's call it a show.
Yes, that's it.
I got laundry to fold. I got TV to watch. Let's wrap this puppy up.
Alrighty, and that is our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you would like to comment on something you heard or ask us a question, direct all of that to @P1Podcast on the Twitters, or you can go to our internet website at player1podcast.com. There you'll find blog entries, mostly about Sega CD stuff, from Mr. Greg Seward.
You know there hasn't been a Sega CD blog entry in months, right?
Really?
Yeah.
Which was the last one? It was
one of those
no,
I
it
don't
wasn't
remember. I don't even remember. That's how long it's been.
It's been that long. Okay, so there may eventually in the future be some, or there were a bunch in the past, so you can read those.
There you go. There's an archive.
Archive of those.
Yeah.
Generation 16 episodes you can find on there, or generation-16.com, right?
Yes, and there is a new one of those. So
There is.
Yeah.
You're gonna want to see that.
Clackstacular.
it is Clackstacular.
Yeah.
Clackstacular.
You can go to the message board on that site and comment, discuss this episode with us and our other listeners.
If you'd like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting player1podcast.com, or while you're over there at the iTunes Music Store, you can also invest $1.99
Cheap.
to pick up the Player One Podcast iPhone application. Brings you one-touch communication with us via the emails, the Twitters, the what-have-yous. Of all of our episodes ready to stream right to your listening device. And hey, Android cell phone telephone users, Player One Podcast iPhone application is built for your listening device as well for that same $1.99.
Also cheap.
You can find that right over there at the Amazon Android Marketplace. We're also on the Stitchers. We're on the YouTubes. You can on the Facebooks. You can like us on the Facebooks. You can watch us live most weeks on the YouTubes. Just go to youtube.com/P1Podcast, and you can follow our Twitter account to find out when we will be broadcasting our next live show, and you can go check out all our archives. And I understand PewDiePie is doing a few more videos, so you can maybe watch some of those.
Yeah.
Some of those irritating oranges and children not knowing what a rotary phone is. So YouTube has all sorts of crazy stuff on it. It also has the fantastic...
What a fox says on YouTube.
It says... Whoop, 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 I believe.
Yes.
I don't even know, but yeah, watch Generation 16 because the new episode is really good.
Thank you. Yes,
And I'm not kidding
watching.
when I say I'm not kidding when I say there's a lot of clacks in it.
There's a whole lot of clacks in
Which
it.
I did not know about the Japan exclusive clacks.
See, a lot of people don't.
I learned something new watching that episode.
And the story that I actually spoke to Dave Akers, who was the programmer on Clacks, and the story he told me about how that all happened, I believe is pretty new information on the internet. So I was really, really proud of that. Really proud to have.
Look at you. Look at you. Breaking news from
1990
years ago.
24 years ago.
Yeah. So, but that's it's good stuff. CJ?
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Which
Thank you.
what Olivia Newton-John song is Mr. Greg Seward?
Who's Olivia Newton-John?
Mike's not here, so we have to
I
get.
think the only song I
let's
know by
see.
her is Physical.
Just call me angel
of
of the
that song.
morning.
I'd say that's me.
Seward. Just touch my cheek before you leave me.
All right. Well, if you sing it, I'm not gonna be able to play it right now. So.
Yeah, well, I'll stop singing it so you can.
Well, stop singing it. All right.
Okay.
There we go.
Greg?
Yo,
Greg, thank you.
thank you. I want to
Thank
plug
you.
Extra Life real quick.
Oh, yeah, please. Plug away.
extra-life.org/Seward, SEWART. Please come and donate to the IWK Foundation through Extra Life. I will be broadcasting my marathon on October 25th, and I just was looking at this, and I'm $50 away from the campaign raising over $5,000 for the IWK.
Really?
Over the lifetime of the time that I've been doing this. So that would be awesome. to hit
Wow.
This week, $5,000. That is not too shabby.
Lifetime total there.
Yeah, it was really. I didn't realize
Pretty
we were that
cool.
close. So, yes, and go check out Generation 16, as Phil has already said a couple of times.
Yeah.
Yes,
the
indeed.
person who donates the 500th or $5,000, what will they be receiving?
My gratitude.
Mm,
Yeah, it's not worth much.
your
Also,
your
hey,
claxitude.
if you want to come watch any of those Vigi games I've been playing, I've been streaming pretty much every night around 9 p.m. Eastern on Hitbox.tv. Come check it out.
Okay.
Come talk to me. Chat
Would
with
you?
me. I'll talk to you. I need
Hands
friends.
optional.
Video games.
Yes.
Pants optional, but
Always.
discouraged.
Yep.
Okay. Mike
And
Phillips,
yeah.
where have you
Maybe
gone?
he'll be back next week. I'm not going to be
Was
here
one of his
next week
kids'
because I'll be at
birthday?
PAX
Where's he
Prime.
gonna be?
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Episodes without you are usually a disaster.
Hey,
Well,
hey,
look forward to
is
that.
Is this going to be a situation where we have to do a show without you, or are you going to like talk to people at PAX and
No,
put a
you're
show
going to do a
together
show
there?
withere me.
Uh,
Show without
I don't like
yawn.
where this is going at all.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Once again,
I'm again it.
Yeah.
you know, for a bunch of guys who hate doing this podcast, we sure have done 400 plus of them.
True.
Only 93 more weeks to go before the whole thing's over.
Won't that be nice?
Finally.
Okay.
All
We'll
right.
see everyone next week. Well, except for you, CJ.
Not me, yeah.
We'll see.
Unless you're at PAX, and then you'll
Yeah.
see me.
Come say
Be
hi
sure
to
if
CJ,
you
because
see
if you
CJ.
remember PAX East, he was listing off names of people that said hello to him for about 3 months after.
That's
Yeah.
true, because I kept forgetting. I'm just not gonna take a list this time.
Well,
I'm gonna bother, because I know
Hey,
I'll forget people.
CJ.
Yeah.
CJ.
Yeah.
Thanks to everyone who saw me,
Oh.
who said hello. Thanks to
I'll
everyone.
do. Okay, I'll do that.
need to
I'll
say-
do that.
You don't need to say all their names.
Okay.
You
I'll
just
remember that.
say everybody. It's all. You're okay. You're
Okay.
okay.
All right.
Okay.
When Edith comes out, it's
Okay.
time to end the show.
That is so true.
Yachi. Ah,
This has been like a
Chief.
15-minute
Bye-bye.
outro.
We gotta
Bye-bye.
go. We gotta go